Good morning. My name is Christina Burrows with Burrows Insurance Group, and today I'd like to talk to you about the fallacies and truths about auto insurance. Now, many of you may have had insurance for 0 years or 20 years, but there's a lot of prevailing beliefs that may not absolutely be truth. So let's talk about those. First of all, age. Well, many of us know that how old you are and when you were born is going to determine how much you pay for insurance. Now, when you got your G1 versus when you got your G2 is definitely going to also change that. Insurance actually looks at your G2 date. So even though you may have had your G1 for 5 years, you only get 1 year for that insurance. So that's something to consider. The next thing is, let's take a look at the vehicle. The vehicle, the make, model, and year. Of course, always we know that's going to affect our insurance, but here's the fallacy, and here's the tricky part. The color of your vehicle, does it make a difference? No, it doesn't. We get that all the time. We have a lot of people who come in and say, well, what if I buy a red car? You know what? Buy whatever color car you want, because that is going to be your vehicle. It does not affect any of your insurance. Now, where you live, it's your postal code. So you could live here in Peterborough, and then maybe you decide to move to Toronto. Yes, nothing changes. Where your vehicle is the same, you're the same, but the postal code is going to increase the premium if you moved to Toronto. Now, let me explain why. The reason for this is that claims and your risk are going to change as you move postal codes. In Peterborough, the amount of claims and risk that when you drive on our roads, not as high of a risk. When you do move to Toronto, there's a lot more people, there's a lot more drivers, and there's a propensity for more claims. Because of that propensity, you will pay more for your insurance. The other thing that we find is we've got the age of your vehicle. Now, this is the one that I do find a lot of people believe in. They think that if my vehicle is older, every year my premium should go down. We'd like to think that's true. Unfortunately, it's not. Just because your vehicle gets older does not necessarily mean that your insurance is going to go down as well. There's a lot of things that take into consideration with rating of your vehicle, and although your vehicle may be older, maybe it's not as safe anymore. If it's not as safe, the chance of you being injured in an accident is actually higher, so maybe your rates will increase. Never know which year to year. You never know how much your insurance is going to be, but never ever think that your insurance is going to go down just because your age of your vehicle is getting older. Now let's discuss claims and convictions. Now this is my favorite discussion. We get people who come into our brokerage all the time and want to talk about, well, I only had one speeding ticket, the cop didn't give me any demerit points, so it won't affect my insurance. I hate to say it, cops are not insurance brokers. And as much as they understand the job that they do, we also understand the job that we do. Tickets do affect it. Demerit points are only for the government to tell you whether you should or shouldn't have a license. So demerit points definitely do come into consideration if you do have a ticket. Now here's the other point. We want to look at accidents. Now, no-fault insurance, you probably have heard about that before, but what we're looking at with no-fault insurance is that even if you have a minor fender bender, you call your insurance, you just lightly tap the person in front of you, you've got a little scratch in your bumper, they've got a little scratch on theirs. It could have been your first accident in 20 years. Unfortunately, it's not an at-fault accident as well. So what happens is that could affect your insurance. Drive off the road in bad weather. Unfortunately, man up above, we can't look at him and say it's his fault. So what we do have to look at is, unfortunately, that is an at-fault accident as well. So always, when talking to your broker, consider these things as, though you may not think that they really matter, they really do in determining how much you're going to pay for your insurance. And last but not least, what I would like to discuss is, can anybody drive my car? Now, we get this all the time, and that's great because at least you're asking the right questions. But let me tell you, absolutely anybody, if they have a license, can drive your car. Now, here's the big but. But if they drive your car and they get into an accident, it's your insurance and your record that it goes on. So think of it as this. If they are driving your vehicle, they are borrowing your insurance. All right? So next time you let your best friend drive your car, always remember, you know what? That's my insurance. Can I trust you enough to drive my car and not get into an accident? I thank you very much for your time and for your patience, and I hope you have a wonderful day.